So this is where the real stunner, the stun gun came into play. You were like, I'm fucking stunned by this. We get the rose ceremony, and before they start, or they're about to start, Brandon asks Michelle to talk to her. Did you think Michelle looked annoyed?
No. Did you?
I did a little bit. This is where I was so confident last week or the week before, and tonight even, being like, Joe just isn't it. It's Brandon and Nate. And then when he asked her to talk to her, I felt like she was like a little like, right now. Obviously when they talked, it was good. But like just the initial reaction of her being like, yeah, we can. I was like, ooh.
So my perception of their interaction once they were sitting down was that Brandon was saying to her, I know that I'm going home tonight, and I want you to know that that's okay. Like, I am deeply in love with you. I wish that I was the one that you were going to pick to stay. But if I'm not, I want you to know that that's okay. I didn't think it was like Nate called it a Hail Mary, where he was trying at the last minute to get a few things in and Nate to be like, pick.
He didn't know.
No, he had no idea. And it wasn't to me, what Brandon was saying, it wasn't like, pick me, pick me, pick me. He was just kind of being like, you make the decision that you're the most confident and comfortable with, and we'll just deal with the fallout afterwards. I mean, she ended up giving Brandon a rose, so that was kind of different. But I didn't think that I thought it was the right move by Brandon, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think it was a bad move. I was just, from Michelle's point of view, I was like, does she seem a little annoyed? But I do think that Brandon did what we thought he would do as a nice guy. Like, he wasn't like, you have to pick me. Like, right. He was just kind of like, I want to let you know how I feel, just in case you do send me home, you know how I feel about you as a person, which I think is nice.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that changed her mind in any way? Do you think she was going to pick Nate and Joe, and Brandon saying those last few things made her choose Brandon?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I don't think so.
I agree with you.
I don't think you could make that quick of a switch and that quick of a decision like that. It's too rash of a decision to make that quickly.
Right. And actually, if you had asked me before the rose ceremony, but going into it, who do I think are the two guys who are going to get the rose? I would have told you Joe and Brandon. I thought Nate was going home. Mm-hmm. I thought Nate was for sure going home.
Even though she said she was definitely in love with him?
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, good point.
That's a really good point, but she had me all confused the whole episode because she kept saying, I think she called two of them her soulmates. And so when you start throwing around the words like soulmate for multiple people and I'm in love with multiple people, it feels like a situation where you really don't know what's going to happen. So even though she said I'm in love with Nate, I didn't necessarily think that meant he was for sure going to stick around. I just thought that they're just in different places. But again, now that we've talked it through, it feels like that makes it stronger. It makes it a stronger relationship than a weaker one. Just during the episode when I was watching it, it felt like I just don't feel it as much between Nate and Michelle, and I think he's going home.
Yeah, I thought that it was maybe going to be Brandon going home, even though I didn't feel it with Joe. I don't know why. I was like, he's too eager. Almost like Michelle's going to break his heart and he's going to become the next Bachelor, kind of eager, that situation.
Yeah.
But obviously Joe was the one who was sent home, which I think left everybody shocked just because he was Minnesota Joe. He was basketball Joe. And now it's Brandon and Nate. I'm swinging Nate.
Oh man.
What do you think?
I actually I'm still so stunned by Joe going home.
You haven't processed Joe going home that you haven't even thought that the two she's going to pick is Brandon or Nate.
I really have not. And to the point where when she said Nate's name first, she gave him the first rose. I was like, oh, all the drama's out of the building now. Like, I thought Nate was going to go home. Joe is clearly staying. So she gives Nate the first rose. Second one's going to Joe. And now it's the Nate and Joe show, like we've been saying all season long. So she gives Nate the first rose. And I'm like, all right, there's no more drama. Like, that's it. This is this episode kind of went the way that I thought it was going to. And then when she said Brandon, I yelled. I yelled in my apartment. Felt like a big sports moment.
Did you see? Were you like, "Ow," or was it like, "No"? Like, which one was it? Were you rooting for the team or were you against the team?
I think it was just pure shock. I think I was just like
ah!
"Whoa,
yeah,
whoa!" Like, I really.
You're watching two teams that you don't really care about, but you know they're big. Like,
that's right.
Like, I don't know, the Patriots.
I really want to see what sports metaphor you come up with here.
The Patriots playing against the Bucks.
Perfect. I know that's a big game.
Two teams, big game because Tom Brady left. It was like watching Johnny Damon leave the Red Sox and go to the Yankees. Watching the Red Sox and Yankees play each other during that time. These are all teams that
keep going.
Yeah, maybe a couple more if you got it.
It's like I don't have it. I do not have it, unfortunately.
Those are two good examples, though, because I have no connections to either of those teams. But I know that when they play against each other, it's going to be a big deal. And it's like I saw a Hail Mary get completed. And it was like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. That's how I felt when she said Brandon's name instead of Joe's. Yeah,
it was definitely, it shocked the world. It was heard all around the world. And I think now it just leaves the question, and I think you have to give us an answer of who's it going to be, Nate or Brandon? I think Brandon is going to get his heart squashed. Like, I just feel like she was falling in love. And this is what's sticking out to me, is her saying she's falling in love with Brandon, but she is definitely in love with Nate. Which one would you choose if you felt that way about two people?
Before I answer, I want to say one thing, and it's that this has actually been a great season, because I know we complained a little bit at the beginning when Michelle was kicking out and cutting all the guys who were making drama in the house, like Jamie gone, Chris S gone, and then even before that was it Pete and Will with the jacket. You throw the jacket in the pool, and there's all this drama. So that drama, it hasn't been good in that way, but in a way that it's been great is that I do not know what's going to happen. Like ever since the last four, Rodney going home broke my heart. And then these last three, I thought I was for sure. I thought I knew who was going to stay and who was going to go home. And I was wrong. And now we come down to these final two, Nate and Brandon. And I legitimately have no idea who is going to win. And that's a different sort of season than we're used to. Like the last couple or the last however many years, you get excited about the drama and all these guys and girls going back and forth and yelling at each other. This feels like legitimate drama where there's a lot at stake and someone is legitimately going to get their heart broken.
Yeah, I think that this is just a classic season, right? It's about love. It's about the relationships. It's not about the drama. The drama, Michelle got rid of them fast and she wasn't playing any games with it. And we just got right down to the chase. And now it's just a toss-up between Brandon and Nate. I think the finale is going to be very interesting.
Who do you think is going to win? You think Nate's going to win?
I think it's going to be Nate, just for the sole reason that I think she wants to be able to like be the one that fixes Nate. And also she said she was definitely in love with him and said she was falling in love with Brandon. Like for me, if I'm definitely in love with somebody and there's someone I kind of like, which is not what she's saying, I'm probably going to go with the person I'm definitely in love with.
I'm going the other way.
That's definite.
I'm going the other way. And
You're going Brandon?
I'm going Brandon because
I like this. I want you to pick someone different.
I'm going Brandon because I'm done doubting him. I'm done doubting Brandon. Ever since he's, it's been getting whittled down. And it's like, oh, Brandon, that's kind of nice that he's still around. Oh, what a nice guy. Oh, it's cool that he's still here. And I doubted him every step of the way. I was like, it's never going to work. She's going to pick Joe over him. She's going to pick Nate over him. She's going to pick, all these other guys. And he's just stuck around. Michelle clearly really likes him. I think they have incredible chemistry. And I'm just done doubting Brandon. I think he pulls it out.
You know what? I like that answer out of you. And we'll see who's right next week during the finale.